Welcome to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, founder of the Reiki Business Collective and creator of the Build Your Reiki Business program, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Welcome to another episode of the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, and it is a blessing to have you here. Thank you and welcome. In this episode, we are talking about Reiki business names. So you are so excited to start your Reiki business. But every time you try to think of a name for your Reiki business, you're just not sure what it is. And every time you think of a Reiki business name, you look it up and boom, someone else is using it. Oh no, what to do? How do you choose your Reiki business name? How do you figure that out? Well, here's what I want to encourage you with, because this is a great question. First of all, I encourage you not to stress out too much about your Reiki business name. You know, the Reiki business name is important. So here I'm saying don't stress, and it's important. And that might not make much sense. But your Reiki business name is important for multiple reasons, including that it really speaks to clients about what your business is, what your business does. It gives off a vibe. It is a part of branding. It is a way for people to get an idea of what your business is about just by learning what the name is. So it's important for those kinds of reasons, but it's also not as important because you don't have to use your Reiki business name, and you can always change it. So I'm going to say more about those two things. But as far as you can change it, is that if you pick a name for your Reiki business, let's say you pick Fruity Reiki as your business name. Fruity Reiki. Hey, I don't know, that might be a Reiki business name. Fruity Reiki. And you want to be Fruity Reiki. Maybe your logo is like a bunch of fruit. And you are really excited about that Reiki business name, and you love Fruity Reiki, and you use it for a little bit, and then you're like, you know, Fruity Reiki really doesn't resonate with me. I don't like that Reiki business name, but oh no, I'm stuck with it. Sometimes we might worry about choosing a Reiki business name because we're worried about being stuck with it. Well, guess what? Good news. If you pick a Reiki business name and you end up not liking it, you end up changing your business, doing different things, you can always change your Reiki business name. So when you set up a Reiki business and you choose a name, you can always change that name. Your Reiki business name is not your forever name. So you can indeed change it. And the way that you would do this with a business that is registered with your state is to set it up as a DBA, a doing business as. So where you have your Reiki business that you want to change the name or do business under a different name, easy. Just set up a DBA, doing business as. In some states, this is called a fictitious name or an assumed name or an alias, depending upon the state. And so you can set your business up, whatever your business is, as a DBA for your new Reiki business name. Now, let's say, for instance, that I wanted to change my business name. My Reiki business is Standing Stones Healing. The official business name is Standing Stones Healing Company. And so let's say that I got tired of Standing Stones Healing and I wanted to start using a different business name. Maybe I wanted to start doing business as Reiki Business Collective, and I wanted to start selling products as Reiki Business Collective and doing business under that name. Easy. I don't have to set up a whole new business called Reiki Business Collective. I don't have to close my Standing Stones Healing business. I can simply set up a doing business as with Reiki Business Collective. And so what that would mean is that I could do business as Standing Stones Healing Company, DBA Reiki Business Collective. And I can start using Reiki Business Collective without changing my Reiki business name. So if you decide a few years down the road, a few months down the road, tomorrow, that you no longer like Fruity Reiki, which, by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with Fruity Reiki, you could set up a DBA, Fruity Reiki LLC DBA, your new name, whatever that might be. Maybe Veggie Reiki. So you're done with Fruity Reiki, you now want to be Veggie Reiki. Fruity Reiki LLC DBA Veggie Reiki. And now you're doing business as Veggie Reiki. And so it's okay to choose a name that you decide maybe doesn't resonate with you in the future and you want to change it up a bit and use a different name. That's absolutely okay. So you can do that. So you can indeed change your business name, and it's often not as hard to do as you might think it is. And so changing your business name is one reason why it maybe isn't as too worrisome to pick the quote-unquote right business name. Another reason why it might not be so worrisome is that when it comes to your official business name, you don't even have to have an official business name that is separate from your own name. So you can start your Reiki business by just using your own name. You don't have to pick a fancy business name like Fruity Reiki or Veggie Reiki. You can just do Reiki as your own name, and you can have your Reiki business that just uses your own name. This includes an LLC too. For those who have not heard of an LLC and don't know what that stands for Limited Liability Company, and that is a kind of business entity. Now, you know, when we talk about entities in the Reiki world, we're usually talking about things other than business, but indeed, a business is also called, in the business world, in the state world, an entity. And so, your Reiki business entity might be an LLC. And so you can set up your LLC under your own name. You can indeed do business under your own name without having an LLC and with creating an LLC that is your own business name. Now, I will say that when it comes to my own Reiki business, I wanted to include healing in the business name because the word healing is a buzzword that really points to what it's all about. You know, kind of like another buzzword like wellness might be, or holistic might be. But I did not include Reiki, so my business is not Standing Stones Reiki because I do things other than Reiki. In my Reiki business, I also offer things not specifically Reiki. And so I wanted healing in there and not Reiki because I do lots of other things. You may want to keep that in mind with your own business, is that kind of sense of expansiveness about the business, and that idea of wanting to keep your options open as far as how you might grow and change within that business, and how the business itself might grow and change because of that. So, with a name like Standing Stones Healing, that really can cover all kinds of things that if I were operating under Standing Stones Reiki and people would see that business name, they might assume that the business is only all about Reiki. Now, I will say that if your business is quote unquote only all about Reiki, well, we know that Reiki in and of itself is enough. So we don't need anything besides Reiki. So if you only want to offer Reiki, that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so that means if you want Reiki in your business name, like Fruity Reiki, Veggie Reiki, yes, that is absolutely okay. And you can do that. But I knew from the outset that my Reiki business was going to morph into other things. I did start off offering Reiki only. And so I knew, though, that it was going to grow and change and add things like card reading. And so I wanted that space within my own business. I wanted that expansiveness within the business. But again, if you set up your business with Fruity Reiki or Veggie Reiki and you want to grow and do different things, you're still allowed to use Fruity or Veggie Reiki. That is absolutely okay. So when it comes to your own business name, it's important because it's something that really you will want to resonate with you, and that you will want to convey a certain sense to potential clients. But it's not important in that you can always change it. You are not obligated to use one Reiki business name for the rest of your Reiki business days. You can indeed change it, and it's maybe not nearly as challenging to change it as it might seem. So I want to encourage you on that for sure when it comes to choosing your Reiki business name. Now, let's say that when you think of a Reiki business name and you look it up, you Google the name, and oh no, some jerk already has Standing Stones Healing. That was what I wanted to use. I wanted to do Standing Stones Healing, and this guy is using it. What the heck, buddy? I wanted that name. I know, I get this all of the time. But here's the thing, is that just because you Google a business name and someone else is using it doesn't mean that you automatically can't use it. I really go into this in my free article, DBA LLC OMG, all about setting up a business and the different business types. So I really want to encourage you to get that free article. It's in the Reiki Biz Kit, and you can get that at standingstoneshealing.com/Reiki Biz Kit. That is, again, free. But in that article, I talk about how you can have the same business name as someone else. And so if you Google Fruity Reiki and it's already been taken, well, it depends. You may very well still be able to use Fruity Reiki. That's because Reiki business registration is done on a state level. I go into more depth in this in the article, so I want to encourage you to get that article. But just because you look up a name and someone else is already using it doesn't mean that you can't also use it. So what that means is that could you use Standing Stones Healing? Well, if you want to go to the trouble of registering Standing Stones Healing in your own state, Yep, there is nothing to stop you from doing that. The only thing that could stop you is if I trademarked the name Standing Stones Healing. Perhaps trademark is pending. Who knows? But indeed, unless there's a trademark and unless it's registered in your state already, you may be good to go to use it. But read that article for all kinds of information on that point. There are more things to say about Reiki business names, but checking out that article and also getting the free Reiki Biz Kit will offer some more information about Reiki business names, including the encouragement to please not start using a name until you check to make sure that it is not already registered in your state. My article explains how to do that, so please do check it out. No matter what you name your Reiki business, whether fruity Reiki or veggie Reiki or whatever you call it, I am sending so many blessings and so many best wishes to the name of your Reiki business, even if it is indeed your own name, which indeed you can do, no problem whatsoever. Sending lots and lots of blessings and best wishes. Thanks for tuning in to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend. Learn more about the Build Your Reiki Business program at standingstoneshealing.com/build, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business.